Uh, yes, sir. Respected President and Honorable Vice President of our institute, past presidents present over here, respected Central Council members, Regional Council members, a number of Chief Financial Officers and Director of Finances whom I know who are present over here, my fellow colleagues on the dais, respected CCMs on the dais, and all dignitaries present over here. Very good afternoon to all of you. My great pleasure over the period, over the years, to be part of the team Bhubaneswar in ICMAI. And what over the years I gathered that the thirst of knowledge, the process thinking which Bhubaneswar shows over the years, across the years, right, it's like absolutely exemplary. So with this ground remark, because it comes from the core of my heart, that's what I tempted to speak out the same thing over here. Now I go into the topic, the area which I'm going to cover in next couple of minutes, maybe 15 to 20 minutes max time, as the time permits, so and so. And we are going to sail the proper navigation into the direct tax transitions, right, in line with the across the world what's actually taken place, right. I take up not in details, but yes, in emphasize what Mr. Vatisa has said, that how we have put forward our visions, our versions, our speech, our motto before the concerned authorities time and again, and how and to what extent it is actually being reflected in the Direct Tax or Income Tax Act, and what more we are expecting and how we are progressing. I will just focus on that into this navigational issue to the direct taxes in the direct tax frontier. Lot of matters to cover. This entire presentations will definitely be circulated. Lot of matters to cover, what actually happening across the globe or across the world, and to what extent that wave actually comes in our country. We can think about something like a uniform tax platform like GST, which was thought about long back, 2007 onwards. Now it is the reality. We spoke about the global accounting standards, IFRS, US GAAP, etc. Now the international standard accounting are there in our country. Everybody is following. The financial assets and liabilities valued under India's 109, which is global best practice, is now in our practice. In the same way, the issue of the cross-border taxation, the BEPS, the base erosion, profit shifting. I'm eroding the profit. I'm changing the base and parking the profit in some of the country, tax 7 country, where the corporate as a whole, the tax liability becomes minimum, can, or if the entire world is moving to catch hold of that thing in the name of, say, Pillar 1 or Pillar 2, to what extent we are ready and to what extent we are moving, right? This is what is the agenda in short. And finally, where we stand, where our institute stands, how we are pressing this matter before the respective authorities, correct? Since the matter is quite long, I will only take a navigation on the surface, and if a question comes later on, definitely we'll be able to ready for the reply thereof. It actually happens. I put the next slide first. That paper cutting, lot of you might be still recall, a paper cutting came couple of years back. Lot of eminent people's picture came out over there, and a country's name came out called as Panama Papers. Possibly over the period of time, the remembrances has been faded, right? We forgotten, but fact remains that there are countries where the tax is the main point of attractions, and that makes people go for a tax treaty shopping. The multinational players across the world, the global shipping companies, global airlines, the software companies, the consulting companies, they trace out and find it out the places where the minimum of the taxes are applicable. And few of them are in the next slide. So this becomes something like a global agenda, right? These are the few of the countries picture, the names, very well known, British Virgin Island, etc. So the objective from the direct tax and to globalization or to take the best practices is to only find it out that how the other countries are going about it, how the OECD is moving about, how the new rules are coming out. I will just take out few of the new rules that has already been published and been practiced, and some of the flair has already come in our country. Before moving into that, one interesting point, we speak about that tax haven. I am very sure in this entire audience, all of you or majority of you are quite aware about what is tax haven countries. But only to take a reference, if we take India, Mauritius, India, British Virgin, or so many other tax haven countries, majority of the income between the two entities in two countries are actually getting taxed, right? In that other country. What is that? In that other country means if it is India and if there is a Mauritius and the entities are located in India making a contract with the other party in the other country means the other country as per double tax avoidance agreement, it will be taxed in that other country. So very interesting part, what is the applicable tax rate in that other country shall become the tax rate on that particular income. Okay, gives a thrust, gives a motivation, right, to basically channelizing the entire business and to put the profit or book the profit over there, and thereby depriving the country like India or some other countries where the contracting state is located, but the destination becomes the tax owner. Okay, that precisely gives, this precisely DTAA gives the basic thought of BEPS, base erosion, profit shifting rules, and the new rules has already been introduced. India is also following. I'm coming slowly, but within the time frame. Okay, so all these places, all these areas, particularly fees for technical know-how fees, royalty, we do not know. The moment we take a KFC, we buy a KFC product, or drink a Pepsi, or some sort of a MNC product, okay, or use some cosmetic made out of by L'Oreal or some other multinational brands, how much are actually transferred out and booked in the as a profit in some other country, not in India. Correct? What the globe is moving, before I just push, because there are some changes. This has been introduced this year in the budget, union budget. I should not say that we are the only contributor, but yes, towards the end of the presentation, I will put forward what the suggestions, what is Mr. Anand, the Honorable President, and I am fortunate that I am a team member of the same, right? We put forward before the Union Ministry, the MOF, and something has come, right? What has come and how that is comparable with the global standards, Singapore, France, and other countries, I will just take maybe one or two slides thereof. Transfer pricing, everybody knows. I need not to take any time for that. Today, it is like a very common thing. We have one of our respected speakers sitting over here, Dr. Paritosh Basu, whom I know at least 20 years back, he given a thesis paper on transfer pricing. And today, we are speaking all about transfer pricing. So definitely all of you will listen from Dr. Basu maybe today evening. नहीं ठीक है okay what time लगेगा okay now what is important over here. I'm not touching transfer pricing, but what is important over here, respected members, a number of Supreme Court judgments has come in our country, number of High Court judgments also has come, wherein, right, the Honorable Supreme Court has said very clearly. I just read out, there are more than 10 or 15 judgments of Honorable Supreme Court. Number one is SAP Labs Limited versus Union of India. I'm not going once again into the court matter, but the court, Honorable Apex Court decided that if you speak about a transfer pricing, right, where profit splitting or some methods are being applied, then you please speak out very clearly what is the cost. Something what is written in the books, what is written in the act, just do not replicate. Please come out and find it out what is the actual cost they are in. Institute and the apex level given the same presentation to the Honorable MOF, Minister of Finance, that sir, if that is the Honorable Supreme Court judgment, every sphere, every line of our cost accounting standards exactly speaks what Honorable Supreme Court speaks. Why not that should be included? And this is what how the progress made. I'm not speaking about the methods. I'm only speaking about the last line, that to understand every method, right? Every method based is on the principle of cost determination as upheld by Honorable Supreme Court in number of judgment, including the Laurel Cosmetics India Private Limited. Very, very well-known judgment and very, very informative judgment. Okay. Something more. Some other rules has come. I think Dr. Pawan will take care of that portion in international taxation, so I am not touching that. What is important now is that what is the global best practices? If DTA is there, that is both sides. If transfer pricing is there, that is also on the either side. Documentations, everything is there. But what is the global best practice? And where we stand in India on the direct tax frontier? Okay. So globally, OECD came out with adoption of international tax transparency standards. We heard about cost accounting standard, we have heard about Ind-AS accounting standard, we heard about tax accounting standard in our country. It is the global adoption of the global international tax transparency standards. Okay. Other things are already being mentioned. And then how this matter goes out. People says across the world, the OECD speaks out that whatever happens, if there is a tax, that has to be there. But you cannot take the advantage or benefit of the base erosion. You cannot erode the base. You do a business in India, you earn capital gains, you earn business income, you earn royalty, you earn technical know-how fees, you transfer it, tax it in some other horizon or region. So this base erosion cannot be just permitted. There should be certain restrictions, and that global rules has already been introduced. Okay. 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 Several initiatives has been taken across the world, and it is interestingly, next 4 or 5 slides will come into Indian position. We'll find it out the same things are taking place. Number one, the standardized international tax transparency framework has been built. And 2, the model legislation on guidance of the best practices that has been already developed. Very good. What is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of that? It's like automatic exchange flow of information and the banking details that needs to be transmitted. A new rule has come, new word has come, new buzzword has come called GLOBE, G-L-O-B-E. GLOBE stands for Global Anti-Base Erosion Model. This has been introduced in 2025 only. Okay, I repeat, if we heard about BEPS, if we heard about OECD, if you heard about the globalization of the tax uniformity, in which India is a part of the G20, right? Everything is taking place. What is taking place in the best practices in the tax management across the world? This rule has been introduced only a couple of months back. It's called as Global Anti-Base Erosion Rule, in short, GLOBE, G-L-O-B-E, GLOBE Rules, 2025. And it basically anticipates that whatever you do, whatever planning you do, wherever you go, wherever you shift, whatever treaty shopping you do, right, ultimately you have to come out with a minimum corporate alternative tax across the world at 15%, and that GLOBE want to ensure going to be introduced across the universe, including India. Okay, certain challenges that to what extent we are ready, in our country we are ready for that same. Some of the informative information that will come up, it says, Globe says that it is a system of the top-up taxes in India as a income inclusion rules and under-tax profit rules. These are different rules. Possibly the moment we speak about the new tax rules, the new tax legislations, right, the more and more inclination is towards the global convergence of the uniform taxation. Okay, I'm just skipping some of these things, coming to the Indian position, where we stand. After that, I will come into our institute position, and then finally, where we are moving towards. In India, few of the global standards or global best practices already been adopted. Okay, in any of the TP assessments, right? Honorable CCM sir is speaking about that the tribunal in GST and others. At the same time, what I like to repeat, that for the professionals, any of these, see, the more and more multinationals are converging into India, more and more multinational companies are over here doing the businesses, more and more exposure to the cross-world situations. Transfer pricing assessment becomes one of the predominant in most of the income tax offices, right? More of the faceless, while taking place to the normal taxation area, more focus is getting shifted to the TP assessments, and these are the three, what OECD speaks about: creation of the master file, the local documentation, and then country by country reporting, and then making a comparables thereof. This entire documentation, the filing process, what is being emphasized across the universe, now this has all come into our country. That's India, and Indian government, the finance ministry already enacted the same thing in the statute. I'm speaking from the frontier of the tax practices also, the absolutely greenfield for our profession, because I find out only very few people are on the professionals are in this particular field where absolutely greenfield is awaiting for all of us. Coming to the latest development in which we, at least this row we are sitting, we are a party, we are privileged to be a part of it. In TP, in transfer pricing, this time in 2025 Income Tax Act, 2 amendments has come. Number one, which is there on the screen. Number one, a new assessment scheme has been notified. The details are there, I'm not going into it, but second one, a concept of block assessment or assessment in a 4-year block that has been introduced. In other words, if you are assessed for a block period of 4 years, you are not required to again call for further information in the TP assessments. Good. What's the global standards phrase? What the global other good countries? I have taken only 2 or 3 countries example. In Singapore, because this is the call of the universe. Everywhere, every country is having the same issue. In Singapore, the law says if the TP documentation, that 3 that we have already discussed, if this has been already accepted by the transfer pricing authority or the income tax authority in that country, that will not be reopened for next 3 years. I repeat, once it is done, the same methodologies should continue to be adopted for the next 3 years. Okay. In India, first time we have adopted a concept of 4-year block. Singapore, it is 3 year. In France, it is also 3 year, that their country. In UK, again it is telling the same thing, that if you are, your entire methodologies, documentations are adopted, unless you change, we are not going to further assess it. Okay, good practices, definitely these are the best practices. There are other countries' practices also. I have not gone into the all because of paucity. That India, we are migrating from an age-old traditional budgetary practice where everybody looks for income tax, certain chapter 6A benefits and other. slowly, these are all moving into the cross-border or international standards. We are adopting the cross-border international standards. Safe harbor rule, we have already introduced. TP assessment procedures, absolutely a global standard or global best practices, this has been adopted. Okay. Few questions that has been arising, time again, whether this 2-year, 3-year, what is there in the across the world, whether the same thing, what India has adopted a block of 4, whether that is sufficiently good or it require further amendment, right? We made again presentations, and in all these cases, right, in all these cases, only what I like to say before this August gathering, that honorable members or honorable president of our institute really has taken an initiative to basically push forward the thought process of the members collectively, that how the new direct tax should look like, right? It should not just look like a replication of the erstwhile law. It should look like a best practice of the universe brought in our country. And that's what the suggestions, what Bhattisab has said a couple of minutes back, that the suggestions has been provided paragraph by paragraph, telling or stating where we can contribute to the national building process. Okay. I think these are the points we highlighted. That's all on the screen. Look forward a better understanding by the select committee members, by the honorable members, ministers, everybody. And let us hope that these applications of mind actually get accepted by the Union Ministry and we get our real status. Okay. I only say that we all has to collectively move forward, not only by 1 or 2 driving forces, but the entire fraternity has to be driving force, right? The unlearning to the relearning, unlearning to the relearning, recasting the integrated process of the global best practices, domestic and cross-border tax into one platter and platform, right? These are the challenges, these are the processes of the transitions in direct taxes. And I heartfully request to all of you that this practice, this initiative that has been taken by the institute, whether by committees or by the president or the institute as a whole, need the entire support of the entire fraternity to make it all successful. Right? I come to the conclusion of my discussion, of my version. Any question from your side, I am ready to reply. Till then, thank you everybody. Thank everybody in Bhubaneswar.